reader can live 1,000 lives in one life. Do you agree with me? I agree with this statement. So let's explore how much the ma'am agree. Isha Jain, I invited her in my podcast because I want to know how reading can change the world of a human, and how reading can change the psychology of human. And also I want to know the importance of reading. Because she has read already 150 plus books that are out of the course and the syllabus. She has gone through the books and she has a deep knowledge, and she has actually transformed herself by reading the books. So let's see and check, have a chit chat with ma'am how reading can actually be a beneficial.
Okay, so yeah, reading is something which is very close to my heart because, as you said, that a reader can live 1,000 lives in just one life. You can explore 1,000 destinations just by reading. You can create the imagination, the create. You can explore the creative side of you. So, if I have to talk about my reading journey, it started quite at an early stage of when I was, I guess, in fourth or fifth standard.
Okay.
I started reading Enid Blyton, the famous five series, and that was the first. Like we have the OTTs, na? So we used to have the reading marathons.
Okay.
So it was the famous five. It's a series of the book where the five students, they not five actually, four and one of their dog, they go on the adventurous things and mysterious kind of things, exploring in their summer vacations. So that was the first book that gained my reading interest. Then shifting to Sydney Sheldon, Dan Brown, to self-help books, to good management books. So it's been a long journey, I can say. I've explored it. For me, the day is incomplete if I'm not reading for at least 5 to 10 minutes a day, and sometimes even more to that.
So what suggestions you want to give to the students, like why reading should be there in everyday life?
See, reading helps you to explore um, your knowledge. It adds to your experiences, and it makes you more open to your life experiences, because even if it's a fiction non-fiction book, it doesn't matter, it is definitely going to add some perspectives to your life. The characters, the plots, the kind of what we can say, how author expresses all of those things, it's a great learning experience in itself.
So, what's your take on the novel reading? Like, how is it different from the reading the general book and the reading a novel?
See, whenever I say you have to start with a reading journey, yeah, you are very new to the reading journey. It doesn't matter what age you are. You can start up to be an avid reader at any point of stage in your life. But if you say that, okay, I'm reading a self-help book, you are definitely not going to complete it in next 4 to 5 months. Okay, the fiction, it generally garners your attention more as compared to a self-help book or as compared to a management book. So even if I see my reading journey, if I'm reading such kind of book, it is always like I'm reading through the 25, 30, 40 pages. Then I'm on a break for like 2 to 3 days. Then I again pick up that book and again move with 20, next 20, 30 pages. So it's like that kind of journey. So whenever you are going to start a journey, try to identify which genre you like. It's a fiction, it's a non-fiction. Even in fiction, it's comedy, it's strategy, it's mystery. What kind of genre you like? So first you need to explore that particular thing. Reading is always a kind of a path on which you'll always progress. There is no coming back once you're stepping on that particular path.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for these kind of words. But I would like to know more things, like why I have seen the most of the students fear from reading, because it's just like an exam reading, it's just like in completion of syllabus and completion of books. So most of the students fear from reading. They just want to enjoy and travel the world, and some of them are just busy in there using the mobile phones. But you are mentioning that reading should be there because it is also a life changing thing. So why, how can you say that, like what positive things you can actually help or suggest students that there should be reading in their life?
See, there's one word we call as emotion, right? When you read a book, you completely get immersed into the life of the characters you are reading, or even if it's a management book, or even if it's a self-help book, you just get, engrossed and immersed into the the storytelling or the kind of the examples the book is giving you. But today, the immersion is in the form of social media, OTTs, scrolling, reels, where your attention time has really depleted to like hardly 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 10 seconds, and you want to seek enjoyment, fun, interactivity in only that particular time period. Reading gives you the attention. Reading helps you in building concentration. Reading helps you in building focus in your life, right? So, even if you don't like the book, still there will be some takeaways from that particular book, right? So, rather than spending time on the OTTs, I don't say it's fun, it's enjoyment, it's fine. But these things were meant to pass your times. But right now, what we are doing is we are killing our time on these things. Reading a book will never kill your time, right? You are scrolling through the fun elements, you are scrolling through certain nuisance things, people eating certain kind of the eatables, and you are enjoying it for like 10 to 12 minutes and you are not getting anything out of it. So first of all, what we need to do is that we have to build a mindset for reading, right? And it cannot be done like in a fraction of second. It need to be embedded in our daily lifestyle. So I have grown in the times when there used to be a lot of reading. You know, it's not like I'm talking about 100 years back. It's just like 25, 30 years back. We used to read the newspapers. Now we have in shorts, right? We used to read the books. Now we have the audiobooks. We used to read the entire book of 250 to 300 pages and we used to finish it off in like 2 days. Now we have the summaries. Now we have the certain AI chatbots that can summarize the entire book and give me the gist of that particular book. So again, it depends upon a person that what kind of experience he wants to have in the life. Books can we have grown up with a quote where we used to say books are your best friends, they'll never deceive you, and that's true. At every part of your life, even when you are at certain kind of dilemmas or something, you can resonate to certain stories that you have read in your life. So even if somebody has to start the reading journey from today, so they can first figure out that what area they like, whether it's a fun element, a humor book. You can start with a very you can say a book that has 40 or 50 pages. I've read Michelle Boom, wonderful author, literature. Students would generally know about it, right? So you can just start with these small literature books. So
So, very nicely, ma'am, you covered because this is right now. I found that it's a major challenge as a for current generation that they are more inclined with the all technologies, but they are not for traditional reading method. So, actually, one term also using in reading that deep reading. So, have you just get some focus on, or you just little will elaborate that what are the deep reading and
see,
how?
when we talk about the deep reading, you cannot just start it with like this only. Okay, first you read a book. You just get to know what the book tells you, what the book says you. Then you will read that book again in your life. Only then you will be able to identify certain more instances, or you'll be, then first reading is just like getting to know what the book really talks about. Second read is going to explore that book in various dimensions. Like even a book with a management perspective can have a psychological orientation, but you'll not be able to figure out it in first go. Then when you read it, maybe you just like that book so much that you feel like reading it thrice. Like we see the movies number of times, so why can't we just read a book number of times? So deep reading comes with a cycle of reading the same book again and again, and it's not like that you're finishing a book and you're starting reading that book again the other day. So it could be maybe after 3 years, maybe after 4 years, you just feel like, okay, this book can be of some use to me, or I have forgotten tidbits of that book, so let's afresh myself with that. So I read recently, I finished the book The Goal by Eliyahu Goldratt. So it's basically a book of management. And even when somebody recommended that book to me, so he said that it's for the operations students.
Okay.
Right? So this book is basically for the production management and operations, but it has the life lessons. I What we say that timetables in our daily life, daily routines, and everything. The book has a beautiful concept of saying that a chain will only be strongest where the weak link lies.
Wow.
So that's a beautiful thing to when we talk about our daily lives, when we talk about how much strength do we carry in our daily lives, maybe emotional, maybe intelligent, maybe on a social question front, it applies to everywhere. Okay, this book tells us to identify your weaker side and keep improving it. That will help you in a cycle of running a cycle of improvement. Maybe it's relevant from the production perspective, but it's too relevant from your personal lifestyle as well.
So basically, matlab, I found that as a operations management because I also read the subject. So how we can apply. So this book tells about that what are the practical uses as a normal.
It is based on one theory of constraints. Yeah.
It's a
And theory of constraints is basically operations based theory.
operations,
But
right?
how can you actually implement that in your life? It's one takeaway that I had from that particular book.
Very nice.
Similarly, I just ended up reading Why Bharat Matters by our foreign minister. So again, that book resonates with the Indian history of Ramayana and Mahabharata. And that book claims Lord Hanuman as first ambassador who have visited an international country on behalf of India, and how the diplomacy worked at that particular time and connecting with the current time. So a book can have number of perspectives, number of layers.
So one thing I also would like to know, just like right now, our current generation is very far away of deep reading, or it's a, you can say that conventional reading. So there are some tips you want to give to our current generation or students who have to read and why. matlab, It's my question that why they should read.
Well, why have to read or why they should read is something they learn over the period of time, right? So it's not something that by a motivational speech today I can turn thousand of these students into a avid readers. Only that I can say is that it could be a motivational thing. If you want to start reading even today, do not go with like I'm finishing the book in a day. Start by reading single page. Start by reading a paragraph. Start by reading 2 pages. Whatever time allows you. Just make sure that you have a book by your side and your day is not complete without reading a page. And slowly and steadily, that habit will definitely automatically be incorporated in your daily lifestyle. So you need not to find some extra time for you. You have what we can say. You have the Kindle on your tabs. You have ebooks everywhere. So even when you are on to some kind of journey and somewhere, you can just read it. So just make sure that if you intentionally make a habit of reading a single page today, after a span of 5 years, you are finishing a book in a month for sure. So some journey starts with taking a first step. So first step needs to be taken by the individual himself.
Okay, so ma'am, you are saying that students must read books because it have a lot of, we can say, positive side. So I just want to know, like, what would you prefer more? Should student go for physical books or e-books?
That's completely your choice. You want to lower down your screen time. You don't want to have more of the eye strains or something. Go for the physical books. If you find physical books carrying physical books to be a difficult task, and you need to have I always have a physical book with
Okay.
myself. Okay, so I don't find it very tedious. But if you feel like that, so you have the phone. You are carrying it everywhere and anywhere. So you can just download 1 or 2 books in your phone, and you can just start by reading that particular thing.
Okay, so what are your suggestions on audiobooks? So is it also worth of reading? Because does it also impacting our mind the similar way we are reading the book?
See, a lot of researchers have gone on this thing that what kind of memory we have. Some have a picture skew memory, some have the audio memories. So there is no doubt when technology is there, and there's no point in saying that you should not explore that particular technology. You feel like audios stays with you for a longer time, and they are more impactful to you. You can go with that particular thing. You feel like the listening to certain things, your attention span lowers down. That generally happens with me. I start feeling little sleepy and little bored when I'm listening to somebody. That same thing happens in the lectures as well. So go with the reading of the book. So that completely depends upon what kind of reading style you have, what kind of rather than what kind of learning style you have.
Okay, so another question, just different from the track we are talking about. My question is related to some religious books, like some Purans, some हम बोल सकते हैं reading the Shastras, like just a part of a Swadhyay, which we talk about it. So, what are your take in this? Like, is like talking about, is it a religious way? So, what you should tell us, the person who is into a spirituality as well. So, what major difference he should focus on, like going through the spiritual books only, or should focus on that also? What changes it brings to a person's mind?
Well, that's quite a person specific question, because different people enjoy different set of genres. Like if I have to talk about my journey, I started, just I told you, I just started with Enid Blyton. I shifted to Sydney Sheldon. I shifted to Nancy Drew, if I remember that pattern the correct way. I fell in love with Dan Brown. I've read all the books of Dan Brown, and I'm a big fan of his. Then gradually I shifted towards the self-help books. Then gradually I shifted towards the good management books. Um, so it's a kind of a reading track, and recently I've started reading with Bhagavad Gita, which 5 years back I would have never thought of doing that. But I guess as you mature in your reading practices, you get to absorb the heavy books as well.
Hmm.
So when you're going to start with your reading journey, you cannot absorb a heavy book. You need to have an open mindset. Now, if I'm reading Bhagavad Gita, I'm not able to read 2 to 3 pages more at a single point of time. Whereas if I'm reading a Dan Brown, I can finish that book in a single go. Because when we talk about such kind of books which are talking about the religious mindsets, which are talking about the spiritual or intellectual mindsets, they are generally the experiential books, or based on the life teachings, or based on the moral and ethical values, which your mind needs time to process, understand and absorb. Because if you're not absorbing the teachings of such books, reading those books are, I guess, pointless.
Okay,
Yes. So if
okay.
I'm talking about Swadhyay is something that helps you to develop your inner self. Right. So if you're just going with a plain reading, as you said, with the deep reading, so those books actually need a deep reading. You need to inflect and reflect on each and every point that you are reading. Right. So you cannot just go and read Bhagavad Gita in one day, or certain kind of shastras that you are talking about, or certain kind of other religious books as well. You need to imbibe those teachings in your life. Maybe not all of them. Maybe you will just imbibe 1 or 2 teachings, but you are going to reflect your life on the teachings, or on the dimensions of that book.
Okay, so ma'am, my question is like nowadays I have seen books are vanishing. Students are discussing the real life problems, the case studies and the scenario which is going on. I'm talking into the educational era right now, not just the real normal reading. So why what is your take on this, like why lectures are not being conducted by reading the books, by going through the pages? So what is your take, why they are not focusing on reading line to line things? uh,
See, there are different kind of the books while we go through teaching. There are the textbooks, there are the reference book. Textbooks talks about the similar kind of the things that we already know. So line to line reading a textbook sometimes gets, as a faculty, it is like reading the same thing that you already have. But whenever you pick a good reference book, right, or whenever you pick up some kind of
Case studies.
experiential learning book, or a case study based book, as you say, then you read it line to line.
okay.
Okay, so it depends upon the nature of the book. Like, for example, if I ask you, how do you say the site Pokhran was decided for nuclear testing?
Right.
It was a page folded in Homi J. Bhaba's geography book. Even if belonging to the physics domain, if I have not read about geography, how would he have finalized that location? So reading will, it is never like it is, it always stays with you. And you don't know that which book is going to answer which dilemma of your
But
life.
if I talk about the viewpoint of some students, some maybe 10 to 20% of category of students, some of them may think that it's a waste of time. Some of them may think like it's very boring. I'm not into reading. Or some of them have the problem of actually understanding the concepts, understanding the lines or the message the actually the paragraph is giving about. So they stop up reading on that topic or that book. So the first experience of reading is worst, so that's why they stop the reading, because they think someone if will teach me the concept, then only I will understand. So reading the book myself
This
on.
is all because of the reel culture, because we have stopped putting in the effort and point of focus into one thing for a more period of time. If I remember, when I started my reading journey, we used to keep a dictionary along with us. If
Yes.
I'm having trouble getting to the meaning of certain word, I have to open the dictionary, I have to look in the particular letter, I have to find the word, then I'll figure out the meaning. And still there were certain times when the meaning was not very clear, and with the passage of time reading again and again, you get to understand in what context that word is being used. If I say somebody is saying this thing, and that is why not following the reading journey in the digital era where everything is available on a Google click. Even if you are not able to understand one particular line, you can always go to the chat GPT and tell it to explain this particular line with a relevant example in a very simple term, and you'll figure out all answers by yourself. So times have changed, we have a lot of help available, and that is why we stopped seeking or providing help to ourselves.
Okay, okay. So another question: if I'm spending my day like 1 hour, 2 hour in reading, random books. Okay, so why would I spend my day in reading random books? Apart from that, I should have focused myself into the like doing a deep research or doing some another I would say productive work, which is my thinking as of now. Ki reading a novel will actually waste my 2 hours. Apart from that, I should have done some another work. I have a lot of things to do as well.
Do you
So
go for walk? Do you exercise? Do you eat? You could have done research in all
yes,
of that time, na?
yes,
But still, you thought of doing all of these things.
yes,
Why? Because it is making your life more meaningful.
yes.
It is providing, maybe you're going for a walk for your physical health.
Mm-hmm.
You're reading for your mental health.
Yes. Okay. So if I am preparing for some government exams or some very high extreme exams, so my question is reading the books that are actually rote learning or maybe memorization type of things. So is it also a part of reading, or should I focus on another book as well while being a reader?
See, as a student, as a faculty, we all read the textbooks. That's the part of the curriculum.
Okay.
We have to do that. Right? When I'm talking about reading, it is not limited only to the textbooks. Well, textbooks is something which you are, getting to learn in the class itself, and it is just to polish your knowledge. It is not going to add another dimension of knowledge to your, existing whatever things you know. So even that is what I'm started with. That even if you're reading a fiction, the characters, how they reacted in a particular point of time, you will either agree to their reactions or you'll choose to disagree to their reactions, and that will help you in framing or choosing your decision making perspective. So it's not like that reading a random book or a novel is a waste of time. Yeah, it might not be directly adding to your what I can say
My
knowledge.
goals.
It might not be just helping you in achieving your goals, but it is some way influencing your overall personality. You tend to be more mature.
It's
Now,
a
if-
long term process,
yeah, it's a
and
long
it
term
will help
process.
us in a long
I
term
mean,
way.
10 years back or 20 years back when I was in my graduation, I would have never thought of reading. Even if I've came across, I don't know when that book was being written, You Can Heal Your Life. I never needed that. I never, that didn't need that book at that particular point of time.
Okay.
But life circumstances make you to read that particular
Okay,
book.
so my last question for this interview session round on the chit chat of like this reading books. My last question is like, should we focus more on reading like general news as well while going through the reading, like newspaper which you were talking about, because it is a random thing. While going through the book, we go through the characters and the deep thinking for over a period of like 1 month 2 months, but while talking about the newspaper, so how it will benefit, like having the knowledge about the things, or it will help us to relax our mind
I
as well?
was a person who used to read a newspaper having a pen in my hand. I used to underline the things in the newspaper. So asking a question to me, I would definitely say that newspaper reading is one habit that keep you updated.
Yes.
Updated in all terms, in all realms of your life. You are on a table, even if a dining table or you are having a chit chat or something, you have certain things to add value to it. So newspaper reading should be a part of each and every person, despite the fact, whatever stream you are into. And if you are saying that reading a newspaper or reading a book, it's your choice. It's completely your choice. Newspaper carry a different kind of knowledge. Books carry a different kind of knowledge. And it's about just gathering the knowledge. Knowledge has no limits. The more you read, the more you learn.
So yeah, it's the last part of the session. So there are some rapid rounds which I just want to matlab from your side, that suggest 2 books which everyone have to read.
Have to read. Okay. If I have to suggest, like, on a life changing perspective, then I would definitely recommend The Goal by Eliyahu Goldratt. It's a good management book with a life story of a leader. So even if you are in a leadership, you are from psychology, you are from operations, or you just want to make your life
More better,
more
yeah.
better. So that book is a very fine read. I'm reading right now 4,000 Weeks, right? So if I ask you how much time do we have in our life,
Right.
it's 4,000 weeks on an average.
Okay.
So time's running like anything. And before it runs out, you have to meaningfully utilize that. So it's another wonderful book on time management. Yeah. So
And
these are
last one, how matlab, as a new reader, how much time we have to give matlab, it's a standard time which you felt, or it's a based on
it's
person to
it
person?
depends completely on you. Sometimes I'm not in a mood, so I might not read for a day or two, right? So you can start by reading at least one page, and you can increase it as per your own capacity.
You are saying that it depends on mood. My mood is very bad. But another statement you have given that books make you relax your mind. So why my mind is not relaxed and I am not in a mood to read. But then if I am not reading, then my another way is my mind is not relaxing.
See, it's about channelizing your energy, right? So somebody channelizes the energy by going on a run. Somebody channelizes the energy by cooking. Somebody channelizes the energy by reading, right?
Okay, okay.
So you need to figure out how to channelize it. For me, reading is channelizing my energy. For you, it might not be.
Okay.
So if you're starting a good book in a bad mood, it will never be a good book for you.
If I'm starting a good book in a bad mood, then I should not have started, according to you. So I should start a book having a good mood. So this is
Because
what
you
I
are
had.
new to the reading, na?
Yeah.
Reading is not your part-time, pastime exercise to do.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, viewers. Thank you, Devandya Mishra, for coming to my channel, being a colleague and being a conveyor of this podcast. So thank you everyone for watching. If you like the content of this video, please do subscribe to my channel.